What's up guys, Moonman here. I'm in Thurmond, West Virginia today. One of the most famous abandoned towns on the East Coast. And we're gonna be taking a look around, telling a little history, and seeing it for ourselves finally. So come with me. I guess to begin, Thurmond itself was was originally settled in 1844 by W.D. Thurmond. He was a surveyor, so he was given the land. And then it became a town officially when it became incorporated in 1901. And this rail line still used today at the time was on the C&O, or the Chesapeake and Ohio rail line. Here is the old Thurmond post office. Obviously they no longer use it, but it's still here and it's well preserved. So I mentioned Thurmond was on the C&O rail line, and it was a coal camp. And not just that, it was the highest revenue earning coal camp on the entire rail line. It's an old abandoned house right here, right off the downtown district. Now, W.D. Thurmond himself, he was a quite religious man. He banned prostitution and gambling and alcohol and all that in the town. So across the river, Thomas McHale, he founded the Dunglen Motel. It was out of the city limits, so the rules did not apply, and he allowed all that stuff. So workers here in Thurmond would go out there and spend their hard-earned money. And a rate at the Dunglen Motel, which rivaled the Fayette Hotel, or the Lafayette Hotel that W.D. Thurmond had put together, had a nightly fee of $2.50, and it had 100 rooms. Well, that really steep incline, you can see this used to be a window. This is the Mankin Cox building. I think it was like a sundry store. And that used to be a door. This is obviously more modern, put here later on, modern type of block. Looks like it may have even had stairs that came down at one point. And Big Brother is watching. And the reason for that is, and why this town isn't completely in decay, is the National Park Service took hold of it in 1995, and along with the state of West Virginia, they have worked to maintain this so people like us can come visit and see a little bit of coal camp history. And that little area where the Dunglen Motel was also had a movie theater at one point in time, believe it or not. And it was colloquially known and locally known as the Ballyhack District. Pretty interesting. As you can see, most of these buildings were quite large, and the Lafayette Motel would have stayed right there. You see the National Bank of Thurmond here. Thurmond actually had two banks along with the two hotels. Also had multiple sundry stores, restaurants, movie theaters, such like that. But part of the decline to Thurmond was that it was only reachable by rail until 1921. There was no roads in or out. And speaking of the banks, the banks in Thurmond were the two richest banks in the entire state of West Virginia at the time. And I'll show you guys this at the bank. 3% on savings. You're not going to get that today. And if you did, we'd all be on our way to being pretty rich. We'd all have a real nice savings account. Now, that Dunglen Motel I mentioned, it burned down in 1929, and Thurmond kind of started decaying with it. But it actually, the largest coal mine transaction ever occurred there. And not only that, but Ripley's Believe It or Not certifies that the longest continuous poker game, obviously different people coming into it and out of it, actually happened there, and it lasted over 14 consecutive years. Pretty interesting. Now, I'm gonna go show you a little bit, but it says a town built on top of itself. This would be the Lafayette Hotel. But there's a little bit of Thurmond. But while the city of Thurmond never had more than 462 residents, it always had a lot of people staying there. And in 1910, which is also coincidentally the year that W.D. Thurmond died, it saw over 75,000 people come through the train station just in that 1 year alone. In Big Country found him a little path up here, and I think we're gonna go see what's up this way, down behind this banking building. Ooh. Yeah, it's really a shame, but you know, something out like this, people are gonna come and cause trouble.
Yeah.
What's in there? There's an old, it's like a well house or something. Probably used it for some sort of storage, and to this day, you can see it kind of probably still is used for extras and scraps, different things. It's very cool in here though, so I could definitely see that it might have been used for storing things that you wanted to keep dry. Okay, so time has not always been good to places like this that are abandoned, so you gotta, they have to maintain it somehow. So here's a little Easter egg we found. Rock.
That's a rock. That's not a rock.
That's not a rock. Now, the track itself so actually runs freight through it, including Amtrak. Passenger trains come, I think I read about twice a day, might be twice a week. And we were about to go down to the old train station soon. But you may have seen it from the 1987 movie, Matewan, which was about the Matewan Massacre, which actually happened in West Virginia, in Matewan, West Virginia. So that's another good little tidbit of information there. Now, even beyond the fact that Thurmond is maintained by the national parks, another reason it's not entirely abandoned or not entirely decaying is it's not entirely abandoned. 5 people still live here. From what I read, it's 4 women and 1 male, and every single one of them are on the city council.
What is it?
And this gigantic building here is the Thurmond Town Hall, which I would assume is where the meetings happen and all the votes happen. And since every resident is a member of the council, they don't have to be here. Oh, I don't know what it's doing, but there's a train down there. This building looks like it has been restored. I'm not really sure what it is or what it was, but it looks like it's been restored. Maybe one day it might be something you can go in and visit. Oh, Thurmond's historic. That's going to be an Airbnb. Interesting. Awesome. So you can come stay in Thurmond once this thing opens. This is the Sid Childers and Margie Richmond house. It's proof that brick will hold up. And there's a couple houses down here. That is the, I think he's going. This house directly next to the train is the Marilyn Brown house, which I've actually read up on this house. The lady actually still owns this house. She just does not live here anymore. And they still maintain it to the point where it doesn't fall completely apart, but she grew up in this house. This really nice home here is the Fatty Lipscomb house. With a little TLC, that could be a really, really, really nice home. As you can see, it's just tucked away right here in the New River Gorge. What is now the New River Gorge National Park, but it's just beautiful scenery all the way around Thurmond. And here's an old, I believe they use this to load coal, and also for the steam engines, they use it to get water in them somehow. It is really, really cool. I'm wondering at the time if the tracks went right through this. It did, see?
Yeah.
And the train would get here. That's how they would load it. It wouldn't be off the side, it would be from in here. I guess it would drop out or something. That's really cool. Piece of history right there. Nowadays it's just like a pit with rocks and stuff in there.
Well, they'd also containers, whatever.
Yeah.
Cargo carts that have little things that will drop all the shit down in these. And if you look down, it all funnels down in there.
Let me see. Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I wonder where that is going to. Probably like some kind of machinery or something pulling it up into that right there.
Oh, bird nest.
Yep, it's bird nest. Yeah, it's some kind of machine.
This would be, I think this would be the motor that controls the conveyor.
Yeah.
The stuff.
That was dumped
down there.
already? Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting.
You could probably find down there if you wanted to.
I'm not sure what this would have been, but it would have been something relative to that thing there. Maybe like a house where they stored stuff for that, the specific people who worked on that section of the railroad where they loaded and unloaded. But it's seen better days. This specific one was built in 1822 by the Fairbanks Morse Company out of Chicago, Illinois. It's really cool. It's another little pit.
Come over here and see this right now.
Yeah. I think there were probably people down there working at times.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
The machines?
Yeah, that was all probably conveyor.
Yeah. Pretty cool. And at the time, like I said, the track would have probably been right there. This nice modern bench says Thurmond on it. Here's some kind of machine. What do you think this did?
This is the motor.
You don't think it was here all the time?
Hmm?
You think it was here the whole time or no? Not the whole time, you know what I mean?
Wow, maybe we just found some those.
A lot of this burned down, this section here, but as you can see, this looks like it probably was a foundation of something at one point in time. Maybe. No speculating. Okay, it was a building. It built right into the side of the big hill here. There's some bricks here. There's something about the Lafayette Hotel too. It says, legend has it that this hotel was so close to the railroad tracks that patrons could reach out and touch or spit on the passing trains from the building's porch. Interesting. There's a little photo of it. Okay, here's an example of how that wonderful machine over there actually works. If you want to pause that and read it, and then also look at the diagram. I was just reading a sign back there that said that Thurmond actually was the last town on the C&O railroad line to even service steam engine trains long after the electric engine had been brought on the trains. So that's pretty interesting too. Also, probably another reason for its decline is that it didn't modernize quick enough. Here is a little detailed timeline from the time it was, which the dates online, dates in here, I go more on here versus what I said than what you can find online, but that's pretty much the timeline from whenever it started to whenever the national park got it. It's another real good view of town. The train has never came through. Hopefully it will before we leave, but we're gonna go check out the depot and things. Let's do it. Now, most of the time it's closed, but sometimes it's open for the visitor center. So I'm gonna go see if I can see that now. There's a little model. It's where people will come to buy their tickets at the ticket office here in this old depot here. Let's see. It's really interesting. I seen a telegraph?
Yeah.
This room, the Railroad Telegraph Office, was Thurmond's nerve center. Train dispatching was decentralized in the steam era. Workers along the line ran the railroad, and everything depended on how well they did their jobs.
In those days, the people in the telegraph towers, ticket offices, yard offices, and the cabs and cabooses on the trains were responsible for the efficiency and safety of the road. They were a special breed.
The telegraph kept them in touch. Lacking onboard communications, train crews received written instructions, copied down by the nearest telegrapher, and handed up from the stations and trackside telegraph cabins. The local train dispatcher was lower the railroad line with control of.
This is the office for the yard master, and there's a postal card for Thurmond there from back in the day. Interesting. And you can see his desk would watch directly out there, directly out towards town. This is showing all the things that were in Thurmond at one point, but this is a picture from Miss McClure's restaurant, 1948. And the men are on the porch there of the saloon. Local boy Carlton Webb is shown in the 30s, which let's see where he is. There he is right there. And right there is the founder of the town himself, W.D. Thurmond. Here's some cutout photographs of some of the workers that were once employed here. Looks like they're working on this old thing. It probably used to overlook the river, probably wasn't so grown up at one point. But now, oh boy. Remember that section over there would be where the Dunglen was the Ballyhag district. But we're walking to one of these overcuts here. We go look at this beautiful scenery. Well, this is West Virginia at its finest. All right. Up the hill from Thurmond there is Thurmond Union Church. And I think it's still an active church. There's some up here. There's more guest houses opening up, Airbnbs. I think we found the residential section in Thurmond. It's kind of interesting, considering that even though there's only 5 people here at any given time, there's probably more than that in tourists, other than at night. Well, now I guess they'll be staying here. Philip McClung House. It's interesting. What is this house? Philip McClung Rental House. Interesting. Oh my gosh. See, it's still got welcome to Thurmond. We still there. Another abandoned home tucked away out here in Thurmond. That looks like it's also probably lived in. Doing what they couldn't do before 1921. Drive through Main Street, Thurmond. Another look before we go back over. You don't know, but he's famous. So I'm guessing this is either rebuilt Ballyhag district or what's left of it. But this is pretty much all there is on this side. I think we can get out and see. So this down here in this area would be the site where the old Dunglen Motel, along with the movie theater and other such, would have sat right here on the New River. Not exactly sure what they were, and there's no marker really to tell me what they were. But I gotta assume they either have been here that long and just maintained, or reproductions. With obviously modernizations added later on. They even got a public boat access down here in Thurmond nowadays. Oh, there's people swimming. Interesting.
Like over Berry Mountain. They call Berry Mountain.
I understand.
Or Bury Mountain. B-U-R-Y. Yeah. I've seen a couple of dirt bikes go up there. Yeah.
Found this water tower. Well, I don't even know what it was really. Here outside of Thurmond, West Virginia. I heard something. Hello? Hello? Coal. It's an old, like, coal shaft or something. Beer can Benny.
Take me home to the place
I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Hello? Nah, there's nobody in here. There's a hat though. Are you making that noise? Are you making that noise? Mm-hmm.
And I come with a hat full of tricks, trunk full of Fago, car full of fat chicks.
What you doing, little deer? Oh, that is a boy deer. No, it's not. I don't know if it is. All right, guys, that's it. That's it here, Thurmond, West Virginia. Hope you guys liked it, because I sure did. So, like, subscribe, share. Moonman out.